Take one. Brian, thanks for joining me, my good man.
Thank you.
Listen, every week recently you've hit a milestone, and it's been constantly something, one after another, and there's a lot of emotion, and you've been asked about your emotions so many times. But is it getting a bit tiresome talking about your emotions? Is it not very much that you want to just talk about or focus on the process of winning these next two games?
Totally is, yeah, it is. It's frustrating, and it's kind, and there's lots of nice gestures, and I know it comes from a nice place where people are talking a lot about it, but like milestones, can be reflected on when it's all done. It's for me personally, there's so much focus on just trying to win another one of those trophies that holding up there behind. So, it's been hard going, but I've enjoyed it at the same time. I've enjoyed the Six Nations, and I will desperately miss it, I'm sure.
I think as well, those emotions maybe are something that comes out a little bit later on. You said after your career.
It's weird. I read the other day that I'm a big one for sentiment. I thought, did I say that? I'm emotional at certain times. I got a little bit emotional reading something that someone had sent me yesterday in a text message. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've done so much talking. I don't know what I'm actually saying, but of course, there's going to be emotion to a situation like this, and knowing that it'll be my last game in the Aviva will be. It's very exciting from point of view that hopefully it'll be a great occasion. We need to win the game first and foremost, but to be able to know that that's it and move on to a new part of life too is sort of exciting too.
That first game of the Six Nations for you was actually my first cap as well. We shared Six Nations debuts together. Do you have any specific memories, either off the pitch or on the pitch, that made it like that was just Six Nations?
I think like that feeling, because there is a different buzz of getting the police escort with the bus, irrespective of whether you're coming from out here in Carton House or coming from the Shelburne in town or wherever. Just when you get into that close proximity to the Aviva or Lansdowne Road, and you can feel the buzz building and people stopping and beeping their horns of their car and just, waving at the bus, and just people getting super excited about just seeing a team bus. I think that you would never bore of that feeling and that excitement. And sometimes the bus it's very quiet now because everyone's listening to their music.
Not you.
Just me and Carnes in the back having a chat. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love that moment. It's a real it's a togetherness moment where we get to, as a team, really feel that special moment that no one else we can't share it with anyone. And it's nice having that.
And O'Driscoll's in! Wonderful try by Brian O'Driscoll. Henderson on the burst again, supported inside by O'Driscoll! Gathered in, but picked up by O'Driscoll. Here he goes again. Brian O'Driscoll is in for a magnificent hat-trick. What a try by Brian O'Driscoll.
Paris occurred, and it was from that moment on, I think, that there was, a public side to you as well, that you had to, you had a different interaction with supporters than anybody else that was playing for Ireland, I think. Did you have to change your life much? Did you have to?
No. It was Brian O'Driscoll, not David Beckham. Let's be realistic here. No, it was. I think I probably had to be a bit smarter, and I had to grow up quickly. I think that was one thing. As a 21-year-old, there's a massive naivety to you, and I'm, publicly probably made some big mistakes that, you would hope to, in normal circumstances to get away with without too many people seeing it or knowing it. I probably made mine a bit more publicly, but I certainly didn't look at changing my life in any way. I was adamant that it was going to be me, and I just, I laugh at the thought of, I was never going to try and be something that I wasn't.
The first Triple Crown, right? That was the first real success. I know you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really important.
We celebrated it, certainly. Well enough.
It was really important because we'd been in the Slam game against England in 03, and they beat us out the gate. and then obviously just eventually win some silverware in 04 was absolutely huge. And when we won it again in 06 and then a third time in 07, like, it did deteriorate the level of importance, because we had our eyes set on the prize, on the big prize, and winning the championship, and we didn't win it in 07. I think that really hurt, and it was a real consolation winning the Triple Crown.
That was the benchmark then.
It's because of the attitude of the guys that were involved, and they just drove the standards onto another level.
It's about patience, about discipline, about that controlled passion. Well, today is going to show in each and every one of you. Everyone performs their best ever game for Ireland today.
I just think I was so focused on the game that I wasn't going to allow my emotions to boil over, and as I said, I'm not an emotional person.
We've established that today. Cold-hearted, sure.
But no, at times I've been teary-eyed, singing national anthems for important games. But I think I was so focused on our performance and the process of our performance in that game that I wasn't going to allow any external factors to affect that.
Yes! 61 years of waiting! How sweet this moment is!
In 09, when we did win, it was like, oh, sweet to goodness.
Yeah. Was it relief?
It was relief.
More than joy.
It was definitely relief. Yeah. It was phew.
Yeah.
And then subsequent joy.
And was it everything then?
A number of days after.
Yeah. Was it everything that you expected it to be?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was. I think because the country too was, in a dip. I think it was real. It was great to see the elation on people's faces when we came out, and 16 or 18,000 people came to Dawes Street to see us come home and bring the trophy back. I thought, that was fantastic, and there was palpable excitement in Dublin, obviously, and I'm sure all around the country when the boys went home, just for weeks afterwards.
Just on touch again on that theme of smaller things that make the Six Nations so special, and it is the last time you're ever going to play for Ireland in the Aviva in Lansdowne Road in Ireland. Are you going to miss the actual being out in the field, or are there other things that you're going to miss equally as much?
Yeah, I think there will be some of those other things that I will miss. I haven't really allowed myself to wander off and daydream about, what it'll be like without Rala, and and the night before games, cleaning boots. He has a particular penknife that I use to, you clean your boots like you would never do, just because you want to spend time there, and it's fun, and you have a laugh, and it's relaxing. I think that's the best thing about it, is that if you're a bit stressed about a game, it takes your mind off, and then it just gives you a chance to unwind. And it's it is something that I would imagine I'll miss terribly.
Six Nations becomes part of your life, not just something that you do, especially when you've played it for as long as you have. It becomes part of your life. And for me, it was demonstrated perfectly last year with this birth of Sadie. Mm-hmm. And I remember you running onto the pitch, completely white-faced, just before the warm-up. And Ronan O'Gara said to me, that guy's, he's away with the fairies, I thought, what a special moment that must have been for you. That's intrinsically linked to the Six Nations.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I will always, and it's I suppose you look at it and go, what a shame that we didn't have a memorable victory to marry with, with the birth of your first child. But it didn't matter. Yeah. I was in my own world for that game. Irrespective of what happened out in the pitch, I still had something great to go to the hospital and see my child later on that night.
We spoke at the start of the season. We had a chat not dissimilar to this, and I asked you about what was a good season for you, and you just said it was only trophies. And you're now 9 days away from holding Six Nations trophy, and have you allowed yourself to think about that? Because I know you'll concentrate on the Italy game, but you must at some stage have had a little think, a visualisation of yourself in in Paris with the trophy.
Honestly, I can say I haven't.
But the mental strength to do that, like, I think is insane. I think if people watching this, they'll think, how possibly can you not? Like, because I know I was guilty of it many times.
I've been in the situation a good bit that there's nothing to be gained from doing that. So thinking about the outcome will get you nowhere. It really will get you nowhere. It'll be about the function and the process of every situation you find yourself in and doing the best you can to create that outcome.
Well, you keep on thinking about process, and I, like the rest of the country, will think about the end result in Paris.
Okay.
And best of luck, mate. And thanks for
Thanks,
that.
bud.
Thanks for your
Cheers.
time. Cheers.